Part 76. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 751. Chapter 751 Pregnant. Gu Si has a special status. She is not only a doctor. As long as the director of Nanshan Hospital does not say anything when she leaves the team, other doctors will not gossip. She also participated in all the activities of the day and left an hour early. She did not attend the dinner party. Gu Si was very happy after seeing Lu Ziwen and told him the good news: we have a day off tomorrow and we can go play. Okay, Lu Ziwen chuckled, want to take a helicopter through the canyon? Okay, Gu Si responded immediately, can you drive it? Lu Ziwen raised his eyebrows, of course I need to find a professional. Gu Si, I thought you were omnipotent and could even fly a helicopter. Leave professional matters to professionals. Lu Ziwen showed his respect and took her to the beach, where she stayed at a hotel by the beach tonight. Is there any gain in picking people today? We have selected 2 young men with good talents, both of whom are underage. We will train them systematically and strengthen their physiques, and they should perform well, Lu Ziwen said with disdain. Although the talents are not bad, their bodies are too thin. Gu Si raised her eyebrows and glanced at Lu Ziwen. You still think she is thin? She was also very slender when she was a teenager. My body fat rate is 7% all year round. I just look thin. Lu Ziwen gave me an ambiguous look. You know best. Gu Si. She didn't talk dirty to him and said seriously, aren't you interested in Alice who ran first? Is she too old? You didn't pick her. How old do you think she is? About 27, although Gu Si was not sure about the ages of Europeans and Americans, she felt that Alice should be around 27 based on her bones and body shape. This age was indeed a bit too old. If she was invited to compete, 3 or 4 years is not a big problem. There are many riders in their 30s, as long as their physical fitness can keep up. I'm 18 years old. Impossible, Gu Si blurted out, looking surprised. She is 18. You made a mistake. Gu Si was a little unexpected and shocked. You are so young and capable, and you are also interested. Why didn't you sign? Do you want me to sign it? Gu Si didn't hide anything in front of Lu Ziwen. If you want to build a new team, you need drivers. Female drivers also have gimmicks. It will be a huge profit to train them. But Alice's style is too ruthless. I really signed her. Disregarding human life on the court will cause great damage to your reputation. There are so many talented people, so there is no need to cultivate such a vicious person. If our childhood sweethearts grew up, you would have rejected my decision to train Ji Sun back then. Lu Ziwen chuckled and said, you have never seen Xiao Sun back then, and she was no better than her. Gu Si, I've heard about it. Then why didn't you sign Alice? I'm interested in her because her style is similar to mine. Every racing driver has his own style and rhythm. You don't see much racing, so it's hard to tell. My training is relatively unique and I have my own training method. It's unlikely that it spread out in the training room. Unless she imitated my racing style, there is another possibility. I taught her, Lu Ziwen said. I taught you and Pei Chuying. Gu Si's eyes narrowed. Have you ever taught Pei Chuying? Lu Ziwen. This focus is too biased. Why do you want to teach her? Lu Ziwen smiled. It's not really a teaching, it's just some pointers. We are both childhood sweethearts and have a master-disciple relationship. What a close relationship, Gu Si laughed lukewarmly, and Lu Ziwen burst into laughter. You want to be jealous of this? One of the reasons why Gu Si has always been unhappy with Pei Chuying is that Lu Ziwen is too special to her. If Pei Chuying is not this kind of character and is a loyal and kind-hearted woman, she must have a place in Lu Ziwen's heart, just like Qin Wanyu's brother, like a close friend is also like a sister, so how can one not be jealous? Ji-sun hates Jinwan, and she also hates Pei Chuying. For the same reason, they don't want their sweetheart to have a childhood sweetheart, someone with whom they have a special relationship. Do you suspect that she is Pei Chuying? But she looks different. Even if she undergoes plastic surgery, her temperament will be difficult to change. At a glance that day, she and Pei Chuying are completely different people. Yes, I have seen it, the personality is very different, maybe I think too much. Let someone check and find out the details. I asked Rong Li to check it out, and we'll know tomorrow. In City A, Rong Li attended the dinner hosted by financial tycoon President Gu instead of Ji Xian. He didn't like socializing, but it didn't mean he was stage frightened or didn't know how to socialize. Many people only heard of his name but didn't know who he was. Rong Li also knew that the domestic market was different from that of foreign countries, and he had recently tried to show up. President Gu was entrusted by others and took him to meet many people and drink a lot. The food at the dinner was cold and not very hot. Rong Li drank too much wine, and his stomach was empty. He felt a little uncomfortable. He happened to answer Qin Wan's call. Her voice sounded a little solemn. "Where are you? I have something to see you for." Rong Li reported his address, and the dinner was almost over. Rong Li said goodbye to President Gu, left the villa, sat in his car, started the car, and turned on the heater. The smell of alcohol gradually began to rise, and Rong Li became a little drunk. Qin Wan came by taxi. She knew that he was driving alone to socialize, so she didn't drive here. She recognized Rong Li's car. He didn't have sports car control. Unlike Ji-sun and Lu Ziwen, who bought a bunch of sports cars, he used bulletproof cars when traveling. Qin Wan knocked on the car window. Rong Li opened his eyes, unlocked the car. Qin Wan opened the door and got in. He had been in the car with the windows closed and the heater turned on. The smell of alcohol was still in the car. Qin Wan frowned in disgust and opened the window to diffuse the smell. "How much have you drunk?" She thought of something strangely and curled her lips. Rong Li said rudely, "Stop making noise and go get something to eat." Qin Wan punched him as if to beat him. It was obvious that he was drunk and he was not the same as him. He drove him to eat. Rong Li was tired of the domestic entertainment industry where he had to drink constantly. He couldn't drink well, so he could only drink. The amount is only half a caddy. If you drink too much, you will get drunk easily, and it will also cause fragmentation. So Rong Li is very self-disciplined and generally does not let himself get drunk. Except for that time when he was drunk in a fight with Qin Wan, he had almost never been drunk. He also knew where his limit was. He drank almost the same amount at the dinner, so he asked his assistant to top up with Sprite. The dinner was all cold soup and leftovers, and there was nothing in my stomach. I felt very uncomfortable and felt like vomiting, but it wouldn't come out. "Don't throw up." Qin Wan raised his eyebrows, turned off the heater, and opened the window wide to let the cold wind blow in. "You only drink this amount of wine. Don't you know how drunk you look?" "What do I look like when I'm drunk?" Rong Li said unexpectedly. Qin Wan was also trained to drink a lot. Knowing that he had not eaten anything, he brought him to drink porridge. After the third grade of junior high school, some shops opened one after another. The streets were full of fireworks, and people came out to eat during the New Year. There are quite a lot of people. Qin Wan prefers some small shops. Many shops now sell pre-made dishes. She doesn't like it very much. She likes small restaurants with fireworks. Rong Li has always been a little dizzy, awake, but not yet awake. Qin Wan took out a report sheet, put it on the table, tapped it with his finger, and stopped talking. She ordered a plate of fried noodles, a bowl of seafood porridge, and a few refreshing side dishes. "Boss, give him a bowl of duck blood soup first." "Okay." The duck blood soup was cooked in a big pot and kept hot on the stove. When it was served hot, Rong Li drank half the bowl in one breath. After drinking the hot soup, he also recovered from his drowsy state. Wake up and feel more energetic. Are you awake? Qin Wan asked. What do you need to see me for? Rong Li asked. He was very busy during the New Year. He had no relatives in the country to socialize with and they were all working. He hadn't seen Qin Wan for a while. Are you fully awake? Qin Wan asked. Explain. Qin Wan was also happy and pushed the report sheet over. She leaned back and crossed her legs. Rong Li took the report sheet, glanced at it, blinked again, looked at it again, and turned to Qin Wan. You are pregnant. Yes. Congratulations. Rong Li pushed the report sheet back with a cold face. Which unlucky guy? Qin Wan. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 752. Chapter 752. Who is the child's father? The air seemed to have condensed. Qin Wan laughed angrily. She tapped her finger on the report sheet. She looked at Rong Li with a smile and snorted coldly, yeah, I don't even know which unlucky guy it is. Rong Li's tone was as cold as ice. Do you need me to check it for you? That's not necessary. Qin Wan took the report and put it in her bag, and said with a smile, I won't eat with you, it's delicious. As Qin Wan walked away, Rong Li clenched her fists and suddenly broke her chopsticks. Did she go all the way to tell him such good news? Qin Wan took a taxi, took out a cigarette irritably, and just lit it. When he thought that he was pregnant, he put the lighter back. He turned to look at Rong Li in the store. This bastard. He actually refused to admit it. Mad. In Rong Li's mind, is her gender relationship so chaotic? In addition to her work, she went to school, and she didn't have a boyfriend. He thought she was so casual. Drinking was really not a good thing, and she could easily get drunk. Otherwise, she wouldn't have this trouble. Qin Wan was sitting in the car, touching her still unresponsive lower abdomen, feeling very distressed. She felt something was not right with her body a few days ago, and suddenly became afraid of the cold. She was in good physical condition and was not afraid of the cold wind. Recently, she always felt chilly for no reason. She ate well, slept well, didn't eat much more, and didn't feel any discomfort at all. She vaguely remembered that her aunt hadn't been here for a long time. Qin Wan occasionally felt a little uncomfortable during her menstrual period because she stayed up late. She was used to the irregularity and didn't take it to heart, but this time it was too late. Qin Wan thought about her and Rong Li's affair. She felt her heart pounding and hurriedly registered. When she checked, she was shocked. He really won the lottery, and everyone in Qin Wan was stunned. She did things neatly and without any thought of hiding Rong Li. She originally asked him to discuss how to deal with it. Whether she wanted it or not, the other party had the right to know. Who knew which unlucky guy Rong Li would tell him? Qin Wan was so angry that he exploded. When she returned home, her emotions were almost suppressed, and she had a headache. She graduated in June this year, and she was just pregnant with the child. After giving birth to the child, she would have to recuperate for at least a year and a half, which would affect her plans. If it were removed, the impact would not seem to be that big. Qin Wan was a little unsure of her own thoughts. For the first time, she felt hesitant. North and Chen Liangdong were in the living room. They looked at what they were praising on their phones together with smiles on their faces. Qin Wan took a deep breath and said, Mom, Dad, what are you looking at? Your uncle sent a video of Jinghe's piano competition. He won the third prize. Jinghe is pretty good, keep up the good work. Songyan and Chen Yang have reached a consensus not to get married and to raise Song Jinghe together. They also agreed to let Song Jinghe recognize his ancestor and return to the clan. If Songyan meets someone he likes in the future, he will not force Jing to live with her and raise her in peace. The Chen family was also reasonable. Chen Lianzhe felt he owed Song Yin and compensated her with a villa. Song Yin was registered under Song Jinghe's name. Song Jinghe now changed his surname to Chen Jinghe. Song Yin is a very smart child. She knows her family background. Although she can raise Jinghe, it is difficult for her to provide resources and help. Jinghe will definitely not live as well as in the Chen family if she follows her. She wanted a good life and a better future, so she agreed with Jinghe to recognize his ancestors and return to his clan. Mrs. Chen's family liked her very much, and she thought Song Yin was smarter than those who insisted on dragging their sons. Mother and son refused to separate, and couldn't see the situation clearly. Women are too strong, so Chen Yang was given repeated orders to make progress, correct himself, and work hard to pursue Song Yin. "Little Cherry, Dad wants to talk to you about something," Dad's old comrade-in-arms son. "I'm pregnant," Qin Wan dropped a bomb readily. "It's been 6 weeks." North's cell phone fell on the carpet and he looked at her in shock. Chen Liangdong was speechless for a moment. Only the anti-war drama was playing on the TV, and there was a hail of bullets. "Who's, Dr. North came back to his senses, you have a boyfriend?" Chen Liangdong was still shocked. Qin Wan took out the report and gave it to North. North glanced at it and frowned. "Tomorrow I will accompany you to the hospital for a detailed examination." "Oh." Chen Liangdong glanced at her belly. Qin Wan said, "Dad, there was a scandal about an illegitimate child in our family. We were ridiculed for a while, and it seems that we will be ridiculed again. Of course, if we abort it, everything will be fine. No." "What nonsense are you talking about? It's going to hurt your body." Chen Liangdong patted the back of her hand. Qin Wan felt warm in her heart and hugged Chen Liangdong's arm coquettishly. "What should I do? I don't really want it." "Don't act like a coquettish person yet. Whose child is this?" "I don't know, the crystallization of a night of romance." "North, Chen Liangdong." Chen Liangdong covered his heart and wanted to find Suxiao Juxin pill. He knew that his daughter was unruly, but he didn't expect that she would be so willful. "Aren't you taking any protective measures?" "Don't ask for a beating." North still knew Qin Wan well and didn't believe her wording at all. Qin Wan said lazily, "Anyway, it has nothing to do with him. It's just me and I have a child. I think it's too much of a delay and I'm not ready to be a mother." Chen Liangdong calmed down and thought about Qin Wan's studies. "You will graduate in half a year. I originally planned to send you to the grassroots training in the military region. If you want to have children, you will have to postpone it for a year. You can study or do some work during this year. For some information work, wait until you have a child, take good care of yourself, and you won't be in a hurry to get the position. You will recover quickly, and your work will not be affected after giving birth. If you don't want the child, you should decide early. North will not interfere with Qin Wan's decision. You have to think carefully and don't make a decision in the heat of the moment." "Then I'll think about it for a few days." Qin Wan was also very depressed. "I'll go upstairs to rest first." "Little Cherry, are you feeling uncomfortable somewhere? Do you want to eat something? Dad will make it for you." "I can eat and sleep, and I don't feel any discomfort at all." Little Cherry kissed his cheek and went upstairs casually. She didn't even notice that she was pregnant. Chen Liangdong said, "Be careful when you walk, don't fall." I know. North had a cold face and was very unhappy. Chen Liangdong waited for Qin Wan to go downstairs and walked around the living room rubbing his hands. North rubbed his eyebrows and said, "Sit down, it makes me dizzy." "Is there a possibility that she is in love, but she is not from the right family? She is afraid that we will be unhappy, so she dare not say anything." "Does it look like she doesn't dare to say something? She didn't even consider whether we would be angry or not for such a big thing." Chen Liangdong thought that North was also pregnant out of wedlock, and he held her hand distressedly. Little Cherry is a measured child and will not mess around. We all listen to her. Is there a word of truth in her mouth? Dr. North couldn't hold his breath. Any mother who hears her unmarried daughter say she's pregnant and doesn't know who the father is will lose her temper. This is really outrageous. Dr. North took the mobile phone and said, "I'm going to make a call." Chen Liangdong knew what she was going to do and didn't stop him. He selfishly wanted Qinwan to give birth to a child. Little Cherry's personality was too loose and she was indeed not suitable to be a mother. But if she had a child, aborting it would hurt her health. Come on, he's afraid that Xiao Yingying's character won't want to get married in the future, and he doesn't know when it will be until he wants to have a grandson. It's just that he didn't put any pressure on little Cherry. If he really didn't want it, he wouldn't force it. Zhang Junlin hung up the phone and frowned. Ji Sun was half lying down, eating grapes and reading financial statements. He raised his head and asked casually, "What happened? You look so solemn." "Qinwan is pregnant, and North asked me if I had assigned her any tasks recently. She might be worried that Qinwan would come up with some honey trap for the task, and she would fall into it because of her pregnancy." "Ji Sun, damn it, it's amazing, she's pregnant. What are you so surprised about?" No, Ji Sun was of course surprised. She didn't talk about a boyfriend, and she won't sacrifice herself for the mission. So who is she pregnant with? Is this breaking news good? End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 753. Chapter 753, Your son has nothing to do with you. Zhang Junlin didn't know who she was pregnant with. Qinwan said it was the result of a one-night romance, so she didn't know who it was. Who are you kidding? Ji Xian chuckled, 80% of it is false, this is too exciting. Are you just watching the fun? What else? Of course we are watching the fun. Ji Xian and Qinwan dislike each other. He took his cell phone to gossip about Rong Li and started typing in excitement. Ji Sun, Qinwan got pregnant after spending a night with a stranger. This is too exciting, hurry up and gossip. He sent 3 laughing emoticons in a row, and then on the 4th he found out that the other person was not your friend, wrongly blocked him. Ji Sun. What the hell? He immediately called Rong Li. Why did you block me? Wrong order, Rong Li said in a cold tone, I drank wine and feel uncomfortable. Don't post random things. I'm hanging up. Ji Sun, hey. Rong Li died cleanly. Zhang Junlin flicked him on the head. Rong Li went to socialize on behalf of Qin today. He can't drink well, so don't disturb him. It's not just that he can't drink enough, this guy can't remember anything when he's drunk. Ji Sun called Nick and asked him to find out Rong Li's location and pick him up to take him home. Ji Sun's gossip spirit was moved. Has Qinwan really never been in love? Never talked about it? That one is so wild, he dares to make a date with someone. Zhang Junlin came over with a dagger. Ji Xian swallowed the word pow and clicked his tongue, just protect me like this. Pregnancy is a happy event. The birth of a little life does not mean that you have a terminal disease. Why do you look unhappy? Qinwan is very measured in what she does. She will not have a one-night fling with anyone and get pregnant. She is an adult. She is not a blank slate and doesn't understand anything. She doesn't even take safety measures. The safety measures are not 100%. Besides, when a person is an adult and wants to taste the forbidden fruit, it is understandable that she will be impulsive. You are not the round worm in her belly. How do you know what she thinks? It's 11 o'clock, you should go to bed, Zhang Junlin reminded him not to gossip. You have to hold me to sleep. Zhang Junlin wanted to call Qin Wan, but when he saw the look in Ji Sun's eyes, he had to give up. This guy has become more and more good at climbing on the pole recently. Ji Sun grabbed his collar and said, "Aren't you really curious about this wild man? Who is it?" "I'm not curious," Zhang Junlin said with a chuckle, "sooner or later, you will know." He didn't believe a word of Qin Wan's perfunctory statement. Early the next morning, Rong Li woke up with a splitting headache and extremely irritable. He swam in the outdoor swimming pool for more than an hour. The cold water eased his pain. The assistant waited for him to come up and quickly put a bathrobe on him. He was standing outdoors in this weather. "It feels cold, let alone swimming. There's nothing to do today, and I'm not going out to Universal. You can get off work." The assistant, who got off work less than an hour ago, was confused, but quickly put down the document and said, "Okay, this is the document you need to sign. It will be used in 2 days. New." The assistant slipped away like a breeze. Rong Li took the documents to the study. After taking a shower, he made a cup of coffee and a simple bowl of noodles for breakfast. He frowned suddenly and called Qin Wan. Qin Wan didn't sleep all night and was very tired. "If you fart, hurry up. You're pregnant, why did you come to me with the report?" Rong Li got straight to the point and finally remembered what he found strange last night. After Qin Wan left, he felt really uncomfortable in his stomach, upset, and his thinking was slow. Now, people are awake and their thinking is clear. "You guess." "Qin Wan," Rong Li was already anxious and had no intention of guessing. Qin Wan said, "I want you to be my father, you unlucky man, get out of here and don't disturb my sleep." She hung up the phone neatly, turned off the phone, and went to sleep. She didn't sleep all night and was so entangled. She had never been so entangled before. Naturally, the blame was placed on Rong Li. It was a one-night affair and she was still in trouble. Forgetting to take medicine is a big mistake. The report card stated that she was 6 weeks pregnant. Why wasn't this idiot curious about whether the child was his? He. It's too late to be curious now. In Rong Li's eyes, she turned out to be a promiscuous woman. It's unreasonable. This child has nothing to do with Rong Li, and he won't be allowed to see her after she is born. Rong Li called again, but Qin Wan turned off his phone. Rong Li was furious. Did this come to provoke him on purpose? He was so angry that he threw his cell phone. Fortunately, it fell on the sofa and was not scrapped. California. Lu Ziwen took Gu Ci to fly over the Red Canyon in a helicopter. It was the first time for Gu Ci to fly over the scenic spot in a helicopter. The strange landforms and broad field of vision gave her a magnificent visual impact. When she came down, Gu Ci was still unfinished, so Lu Ziwen asked the master to fly again. Take Gu Ci to experience the beautiful scenery again. Chen Rishi stood at a high place, looking at the plane with a telescope. Lu Ziwen, you are so arrogant. He called Pei Chuying. Lu Ziwen is flying over the canyon with Gu Ci. Pei Chuying, don't you want to shoot them down? I wrote 6004 today and will make up 2000 tomorrow. Sorry. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 754. Chapter 754, Break his legs. After the helicopter flew over twice, Gu Ci finally had enough fun. When she got down, she asked Lu Ziwen, "Aren't you afraid that Pei Chuying is far away and a rocket launcher will shoot us down?" "She can't get her, she won't do useless things, she will only expose herself." Lu Ziwen was very confident, and was not worried about Pei Chuying's attack. Instead, he said, "Chen Rishi is here." "What is he doing here? What good things can happen?" Lu Ziwen raised his eyebrows. let's go on vacation and leave him alone. He took Gu Si out to sea. The weather today was very good, the sun was shining brightly, and the body temperature was not high. It was a very suitable day to go out to sea and bask in the sun. Gu Si had long learned to sail the boat by himself, and the yacht did not drive very fast, and shuttled across the sea at a constant speed. On the plane, Gu Si and Lu Ziwen talked about Kangen medicine. Why did you and your brother prevent Kangen medicine from entering the market? Kangen Pharmaceutical has banned finished products, which is fine according to European and American standards, but it cannot enter our market. The most important reason is, Kangen Pharmaceutical's scientific research has problems. About 2 years ago, when Kangen Pharmaceutical applied for contract renewal, someone anonymously reported the shady story of Kangen Pharmaceutical's scientific research. This was not an ordinary medical case. It was handed over to the National Security Bureau. ZIU investigated it and found that the volunteers in the clinical trials of their scientific research center all signed illegal contracts, and many volunteers had accidents during clinical trials. The matter was quite big, and Chen Ru used money to suppress it. If they entered our market, not to mention the drug problem, and the research laboratory had to be moved over, it would be our innocent compatriots who would be harmed. See why in Europe surrogacy is legal. It means using money to buy the right to have a child, and for the sake of results, he can also use money to buy the right to life. Lu Ziwen said, we can't control him no matter what he does abroad, he can't harm us. They were too eager to achieve clinical results, so they skipped animal experiments and directly used humans for experiments. That's why human lives were caused. Generally, when a drug is put on the market, it must first be tested on animals for several years to ensure that there is no danger, and then it can be tested on humans. Volunteers with corresponding diseases are selected and tested for free. If it succeeds, a human life will be saved. If it fails, the human life will be saved. He may not die, and the risk is relatively small. Chen Rishi should get results as soon as possible, so he took a shortcut. This is the shortcut paved by human life. He really wants to do something great and will do whatever it takes. Kangen is already a Fortune 500 company and is well known in the pharmaceutical industry. It has indeed gone downhill in the past 5 years and has become so thin that a camel is bigger than a horse. Why is he suffering? Besides, he is worth tens of billions and has spent hundreds of millions of dollars. With endless wealth, he married the eldest daughter of Kangen Medicine and became the actual controller of the company. Why should he take risks if he is not satisfied? That's crazy. Lu Ziwen chuckled and said, let him do whatever he wants. This time I invited the domestic cardiology authorities to open a way through you, but Chen Liangdong stood in the way. He is doing nothing. He does not know. Of course I don't know. This is top secret information, so Chen Rishi has always misunderstood Zhang Junlin and me. Lu Ziwen chuckled and said, we will bear the blame, so that Zia won't have to bear it again. Gu Si chuckled, finally understanding the ins and outs. She felt that Kangen's scientific research produced results too quickly, which was a bit unusual, so that's it. One more thing, Kangen Pharmaceutical's scientific research can be used in the military industry. They have signed many cooperation contracts with the military. Although the terms are almost the same, I always feel uneasy. Lu Ziwen said, he is a foreigner and we have no control over him, so just try not to harm us. No wonder Chen Lianzhu refused to cooperate with him and didn't say a word to help him a few years ago. Chen Lianzhu attached great importance to this bloodline and provided a lot of conveniences. Now the relationship has become much weaker. There is a difference between closeness and distance. Chen Lianzhu will never harm Chen Liangdong no matter what. He is a biological brother after all. By the way, Qin Wan is pregnant, did you know? Gu Si. What the hell? How can it be? What Xiaoxian said should be accurate. Gu Si's eyes widened, and she didn't care about sailing anymore. She called north to inquire. Late at night, North didn't fall asleep. After answering the phone, she said, "She's pregnant." Good things don't go out, and bad things spread thousands of miles. It reached your ears so quickly. Master, don't worry, what's going on? Is Chinwan in love? This is too sudden. What kind of relationship is it? We don't know who the father of the child is, and she talks all the time. Dr. North said in a stiff tone. I really wanted to whip her, if you, Uncle Chen, hadn't stopped me. What did Uncle Chen say? He's quite happy. Dr. North was slightly speechless. Gu Ci. Chinwan's rebellious and unruly nature is like Chen Liangdong, not like Dr. North at all. Just seeing how Chen Liangdong fell in love with North undercover when he was young, we know that he is not a rule-abiding person. He has a high position but has not been married for decades, and he doesn't care about what others think. After all, he works within the system, and family and marriage will also be taken into consideration for promotion. Chen Liangdong has been alone for decades without getting married, and how many people have laughed at him behind his back. There were even rumors about him that he had a habit of cutting sleeves, etc., but he turned a blind eye and walked along for decades without caring about other people's eyes. North said, little Cherry is also 27 years old. If she falls in love seriously and gives birth to a child, of course it will be a happy event, but the father of the child does not know who it is. If the child is born, it will be difficult for her to raise the child alone. The days ahead are still so long. Things have happened, and there is no use in thinking about them. The ending is here. It depends on how to solve it. There are only two ways, to die and to be born. North said, I don't want little Cherry to give birth without knowing it. I will wait until I take her to the hospital and have her body checked before I decide. She had polycystic cysts during her physical examination last year. I gave her Chinese medicine for a year. I don't know what to do now, that's it. She's pregnant, so she should be fine. Miao Xiao is back in full swing. What do you think we should do? Gu Ci couldn't give advice. It doesn't matter what other people think. It depends on what Chinwan thinks. Although she is careless and thoughtful, she probably has something in mind. We'll talk about it tomorrow, North said. How was your business trip? Everything is going well here, nothing major. I will go home in a few days. Maybe before going home, I and Lu Ziwen will go to the casino to get a license. Okay, you will get it sooner or later, North said. When you come back, Master will give you a big red envelope. Okay, Master, don't be too anxious and go to bed early. After the two exchanged pleasantries, they hung up the phone. Lu Ziwen was wearing shorts and was sunbathing with his upper body bare. He was not afraid of the cold at all. He smiled and asked Gu Ci, is it true? It's incredible. Gu Ci sat down to bask in the sun with him. It's like a bomb. Lu Ziwen was not interested in other people's affairs, so he just mentioned it, stretched his body across the boat, and said casually, she still has a few months to graduate from graduate school. I heard that she is going to work at the grassroots level. If she wants to have a child, now she has a child, it's good to get down. Otherwise, if you rest and work at the grassroots level this year, you won't think about getting married and having children for at least 4 to 5 years. After training at the grassroots level, you have to be promoted. If you think about falling in love and getting married, it will take another 3 or 4 years. Then having another child will happen 10 years later. It's better to have one now. Gu Ci, why do you men all think the same way? Uncle Chen probably thought so too. What if this is your daughter? I'll break this bitch's legs, Lu Ziwen replied without hesitation. He wanted to have a baby daughter, and he would definitely let her believe in Catholicism, refuse premarital behavior, and follow the rules until after marriage. Sure enough, it's a bit futile. Gu Ci pursed her lips, and as a doctor, she said, if you don't try before marriage, what if your daughter finds out that your son-in-law is not good after marriage? Lu Ziwen. This question is a bit out of scope. Why do we have to discuss this topic if we don't have a daughter? Just chatting. Gu Sixiao asked, do you want a daughter? In no mood. Why? Lu Ziwen thought for a while, it's quite troublesome. When I was a child, I was afraid of bumping into her, and when I was rebellious, I was reluctant to hit her. When I grew up, I was worried that she would be cheated, and I was afraid that she would have a bad life. Forget it, I am still my son. Okay, worry less. Gu Ci. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 755. Chapter 755 Is Your Child Wrong, Lise? In City A, Dr. North and Chen Liangdong dug Qinwan out of bed after a sleepless night and took her for a pregnancy test. Qinwan took a nap out of boredom and said, I've thought about it, I want to give birth. Dr. North. Last night I said I didn't want to have a baby. Chen Liangdong asked, have you really thought about it? I've thought about it, Qinwan yawned, it's too troublesome to get pregnant and have a baby. I can't do anything for a year anyway. I plan to have a baby. I will have a baby sooner or later, so I'll do it as soon as possible. Dr. North didn't want to speak and remained silent all the way. Qinwan and Chen Liangdong looked at each other in a lawsuit. Chen Liangdong shook his head, and Qinwan had to remain silent for the time being. When they arrived at the central hospital, Dr. North had greeted him in advance. It only took an hour for Qinwan to undergo a one-stop examination. The doctor who examined Qinwan was friends with North and was very talkative. Although he was shocked, he did not talk about it. The examination revealed that there are no major problems. He is very healthy and the polycystic cysts have been cured. She glanced at North and said to Qinwan, if you don't want children, you should make a decision early. If you do, you should start to follow the doctor's advice to take care of your body. Qinwan's physical fitness is particularly good and he is very active. He has never felt any discomfort at all. During the Chinese New Year, he still runs and works out every day. If she doesn't have children, will it affect her health? Chen Liangdong asked. Miscarriage will hurt the body to some extent. Zioan is young, take good care of her, and she will recover quickly. The doctor told the truth. She glanced at North and said, I really don't want it. Don't wait until the month is older to do it. The sooner the better. I want to give birth. Qinwan made the final decision. She thought about it all night and finally figured it out. It's hard to turn back after having an idea. She acted coquettishly with Chen Liangdong last night and didn't want it. It was a bit of a grudge. She was very angry when wrongly refused to admit it. After calming down, Qinwan felt that it would be good to have a child, like a gift from God. Why didn't she want a baby if wrongly didn't accept it? Dr. North didn't say a few words during the whole process. He looked at Qinwan's report carefully. Her daughter's body was indeed very healthy. She had exercised very well since she was a child. However, there was a little problem. Dr. North also used Chinese medicine to treat gentle conditioning, and the results were good. She had a cold uterus and scanty menstrual periods. After a year of conditioning, the effects had improved significantly in the second half of the year. North thought to herself that if she hadn't taken care of her, she might not have been able to get pregnant. Qinwan's body was not easy to get pregnant. Chen Liangdong went to pay the fee and got some health medicine. North said, little Cherry, if you want to give birth, your parents will respect you, but you must think about how being single and raising a child will affect you in the future. You have to think carefully before making a decision. Mom, do you regret giving birth to me? Dr. North shook his head, never. Then I believe it too, and I won't regret it. Dr. North was speechless. Because he had suffered a lot, he hoped that little Cherry would have a happy family, a husband who loved her, and that the two would fall in love and have children. Dr. North said, I love your father very much, so I never regret giving birth to you. Little Cherry, do you love your child's father? What's the big deal? I love the child. Chin Wan's heart moved, and when she thought of Rong Li's face that refused to admit her fault, she became angry. It has nothing to do with this bitch. Dr. North. As expected, she was always talking about cheating. She knew who the child's father was and that any one-night fling was all a lie. Chin Wan also came back to his senses, his eyes rolled around, pretending that he hadn't said anything. Rong Li, Dr. North tentatively said a name. Bah, who said that? Chin Wan was startled and stunned. Am I crazy? How could I hook up with him? You get along well with members of the opposite sex. The only person who curses you every day, apart from Ji Xian, is Rong Li. Dr. North's face was as cold as ice. Isn't it really Rong Li? No, Chin Wan babbled nonsense. All men are shit, I treat them equally. When Chen Liangdong approached with the list and medicine, he heard Chin Wan scolding him. He couldn't help but laugh. Have you killed all the men with one blow? My dad is the best in the world. Chin Wan knew that he could no longer talk to his mother. Looking into North's deep eyes, covering his head, I'm a little dizzy, Mom. She hadn't shouted Duasai for a long time, and Dr. North didn't expose her, so she felt relieved in her heart. It would be great if it wasn't. Ji Sun and Zhang Junlin, Lu Ziwen and Gu Ci, Ji Dao and Black Eagle were deeply involved, and it was really inappropriate. If another marriage is involved, especially if Chin Wan is Chen Liangdong's daughter, if she really wants to have anything to do with Rong Li, the Chen family and Black Eagle will be completely inseparable. This situation is much more serious than that between Ji Sun and Zhang Junlin, Lu Ziwen and Gu Ci. After getting in the car, Chen Liangdong also talked with Chin Wan about the various problems he would face after giving birth to a child. Chin Wan didn't mind. Who would care if having a child would make others dislike him and prevent him from finding a boyfriend? I can raise it by myself. Dad, I got pregnant out of wedlock, so you will be laughed at, right? Chin Wan is indeed his father's caring little cotton-padded jacket. My existence has made you laugh at, and now if you do it again, people will say that like father must be if you have a daughter, you will listen to gossip. Don't worry, they only say congratulations in front of me. If they really want to poke my spine, I won't hear it. Even if I hear it, it doesn't matter. Such rumors are trivial. Dad heard a lot of them when he was young. I'm immune. Besides, it doesn't matter if I'm laughed at. I'm lucky to have such a good-looking and well-behaved daughter. They're just jealous. Dr. North. I really can't stand listening to it. She couldn't praise Chin Wan enough for being so good. Is it because Chen Liangdong forgot to put on the filters for her? Chin Wan was also open-minded and hugged him and said, I will take good care of myself and give you a fat and white grandson to make them jealous. Chen Liangdong patted her hand. Dr. North was angry, and they did not dare to be too presumptuous. When Chin Wan returned home, she saw Rong Li's car parked in front of her. She felt her eyes darken and her whole body was about to explode. Why did this come to the door? She scolded all 18 generations of Rong Li's ancestors in her heart. Rong Li was sitting in the car. When he saw them coming back, he opened the door and got out of the car. Dr. North narrowed his eyes and looked at Chin Wan. Chin Wan opened his eyes innocently. Mom, don't look at me, I can make excuses. Why is Rong Li here? Chen Liangdong didn't have much contact with Rong Li. He thought Rong Li came to see him. Lu Ziwen was on a business trip, Ji Sun was busy, and Rong Li was in charge of Black Eagle's affairs. I don't know, we don't have a casual relationship with him, Chin Wan said coolly. Mom, please, don't look at me. I'm not familiar with him. Rong Li greeted Chen Liangdong politely, hello, Director Chen. It's a bit abrupt to come to the door without permission. I have something to ask Chin Wan. Okay, "Come in and talk." Chen Liangdong greeted him through the door. Qin Wan said, "No, we can just talk outside. Mom and Dad, you go in first." Chen Liangdong is a very polite person. According to the custom in City A, anyone who comes to the door within the 10th day of the lunar month is considered a guest. It is absolutely not allowed to push the guest out. Qin Wan has already pulled him aside hurriedly. "You come to my house to do this well." She also looked back at Chen Liangdong and North, and waved her hand to let them in first. North was thoughtful and followed Chen Liangdong through the door. Wrongly frowned, "Didn't you block me? How can I ask clearly if you don't come to the door? What did you want to do when you brought the report to me that day?" End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 756. Chapter 756, Drunk and Forgot. Qin Wan was so angry that North was already suspicious of Rong Li, but this came to her door and caused trouble for her. "Can't I just do it on a whim? He doesn't even admit it, so why should she tell him? On a whim? You're really crazy. You actually came to see me as a stranger. Who did you conceive the child with?" Rong Li asked with a cold face, as if he was asking for revenge. Qin Wan laughed angrily, "It's none of your business. Don't be sentimental. It's not yours anyway." "Of course I know it's not mine." Rong Li's voice became even colder. "Qin Wan, is it fun to tease people?" Before Qin Wan even slapped him, he was slapped upside down. He was so angry that he was about to burst with anger. "Did you come to me specifically to quarrel with me during the Chinese New Year? I'm warning you, don't mess with me. I'm very angry right now. Hurry up, go away, no one in our family wants to entertain you." Qin Wan turned to leave, but Rong Li grabbed her arm roughly, with such force that he almost broke her bones. Qin Wan felt pain and punched her. Rong Li was concerned that she was pregnant and did not dare to have with her. Just now, he got punched hard. Qin Wan punched him so hard that the corner of his lip was broken. Rong Li tasted the blood. Qin Wan was finally relieved. From the moment he said what kind of unlucky guy the child was, she felt, "I want to beat Rong Li. It's so cool." Rong Li touched the corners of his lips, his fingertips stained with blood. "Madman. If you don't leave, I'll get even crazier. When you came to me with the report that day, did you want me to be taken advantage of and admit your child?" Rong Li came to her to ask about this matter. Inexplicably, Qin Wan gave him a pregnancy report sheet. She also said that she would like to be her father. Apart from that, she really dared not to do what he wanted. He also heard that Chen Liangdong was arranging a blind date for Qin Wan recently. Could it be that she was impulsively having fun with a blind date man and didn't want to get married, so she came to take advantage of him? Rong Li was also very angry. Qin Wan was furious. "Rong Li, get out of here." She was so angry that her eyes were red, definitely so angry that her blood vessels were about to burst. "Yes or no?" "Yes, I'm just taking you as a scapegoat. What's wrong?" Rong Li was breathing rapidly. If it weren't for the fact that she was pregnant, the two of them would have fought. He was so angry that he walked away. Qin Wan's hair almost exploded with anger. It's inexplicable, crazy. She is not even angry anymore, so what right does he have to be angry? Qin Wan felt short of breath and had a slight abdominal pain. She took a deep breath and suppressed the anger in her heart. "Don't be angry, don't be angry. Men are all bullshit. If they don't admit their faults, they won't. Can't she support them herself?" When she got home, Chen Liangdong was making tea. "Rong Li is gone. Why don't you come in and sit for a while?" "Not familiar." Qin Wan's voice was cold. and she was sulking on the sofa. Dr. North frowned and said calmly, "Don't be sulky when you are pregnant with a child. What do you want to eat?" "I want to eat crabs." Dr. North shook his head and took his mobile phone to buy crabs. Chen Liangdong said, "Didn't it say that crabs are cold and pregnant women should eat less?" "It doesn't matter if you eat one or two," Dr. North said, "just don't be greedy." "Little Cherry, are you feeling uncomfortable?" "No." She had a little abdominal pain just now, and she didn't feel it after her temper subsided. Dr. North made soup for her. "What does Rong Li want from you?" "Songyin's matter is not over yet. She asked me for some information," Qin Wan said perfunctorily, and then thought of the Ji Dao matter. "Is there anything that North didn't know?" But North did not continue to ask. Qin Wan relaxed tone. "Why did I just see you beating someone on the second floor?" Chen Liangdong asked in a low voice. "Did he provoke you?" "Straight male cancer, said some things I don't like to hear." "Did he laugh at you because you were pregnant?" Chen Liangdong frowned. He didn't care about rumors, but he was afraid that Qin Wan would be looked down upon. Qin Wan thought to himself, "Dad, it's a little more serious than this. He doesn't admit his fault and loses his temper for no reason. That's nothing, it's something else. Quiet the fire, you have to stay in a happy mood now. If there are still tasks to do, ask Ji Sun to come next time, he will have a better temper." Qin Wan looked at Chen Liangdong in disbelief. "Do you think Ji Sun has a better temper? At least pretend to be nice." "Qin Wan." Just as Qin Wan was about to go upstairs, there was the sound of cars outside the door again. Zhang Junlin came, bringing several cans of tea and wine. Qin Wan felt her scalp numb. She could still get away with being coquettish to Chen Liangdong, but she was afraid that Zhang Junlin would ask. Until now, Zhang Junlin sent a text message to ask how he was doing, but Qin Wan still harbored fantasies. Maybe Zhang Junlin didn't care about this matter. It was indeed a fantasy, and she was overthinking it. Zhang Junlin's expression remained as usual. After chatting with Chen Liangdong for a while, he brought Qin Wan to the courtyard. "Tell me, whose child it is?" Chen Liangdong's yard is full of fruits and vegetables. After Dr. North moved in, he opened half of the open space as a flower garden. Qin Wan sat next to the brightly blooming lisianthus, rarely lowering his head and playing with his fingers. "I don't know. The main thing is that this matter will be embarrassing." Qin Wan is embarrassed to say it. After all, Rong Li refuses to admit his fault. If he needs to tell Zhang Junlin, Ji Sun will definitely know about it, and then Rong Li will know about it later. What a beautiful thought. He will never know that the child is his in his life. To be honest, I really don't know, Qin Wan said angrily. "I was drunk and forgot." "Okay, then I'll check it out." Qin Wan raised his head and said, "Don't check, it's so embarrassing." "Then tell the truth." "I was really drunk and got drunk for a while, and that's what happened." Qin Wan suppressed the truth and said, "I don't know him very well." "You," Zhang Junlin became furious and lightly hit her on the head. "Bastard." Qin Wan was not angry even after being scolded. "Master, don't get involved in this matter. I don't want to have anything to do with him." "Did you have a miscarriage, or were you born?" "I want to give birth," Qin Wan said lightly. "I'm not interested in getting married. The child can be considered an unexpected blessing. You don't want to get involved with someone else, but you give birth to his child. What's your thinking? He doesn't know." Zhang Junlin was angered by her operation. He went through all the men Qin Wan was close to in his mind. Only her classmates were more suspicious. Zhang Junlin held back his anger and said, "What you did is very irresponsible. The child belongs to two people, and the other party also has the right to know." Qin Wan also got angry. She told her, but he didn't admit it. What could she do? But she didn't dare to talk to Zhang Junlin because she was angry. She could only hold her breath. Zhang Junlin sat down and laid his head on her head. I touched him, I was angry, but I also felt sorry for her. The sudden accident disrupted the rhythm of her life, so she must have been panicked. Are you afraid? Zhang Junlin asked. As soon as he asked, Qin Wan's eyes turned red in embarrassment, but she wiped her tears stubbornly. Don't be afraid, there's nothing to be afraid of. I can take care of the child alone. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 757. Chapter 757, Shirofield. No matter what Qin Wan and Zhang Junlin were talking about, North and Chen Liangdong didn't bother them. In fact, they both understood that Qin Wan and Zhang Junlin had a deep relationship. For a long time, it was Zhang Junlin who protected Qin Wan when he grew up. Although they get along as superiors and subordinates, they are actually brother and sister. Qin Wan may be willing to tell the truth to Zhang Junlin. The two talked for a long time, and Zhang Junlin also knew that Qin Wan had made a decision. Just think clearly and don't regret it. After graduation, go to further study first, and after giving birth to the child, wait until you are in good health before going to the grassroots. Master, are you not angry anymore? The result is like this, what's the use of being angry? It was really an accident, so I just got over it for a while. He couldn't go into details about it for fear of saying too much, so Zhang Junlin told Ji Suan, Master, you can't tell others about this. Why can't you tell Ji Suan? I didn't say Ji Suan. Qin Wan's eyes widened. Was he so sensitive? Who else would I talk to about such trivial matters besides Ji Suan? Qin Wan. Even though her subtext was that the master wanted to tell Ji Xian goodbye, but it was exposed directly, she still felt extremely guilty. Qin Wan said, I don't want others to know about this kind of thing. It's embarrassing. I know Zhang Junlin sighed. This matter was as outrageous as Lu Ziwen's ability to fly. Zhang Junlin didn't know what to say. But if you give birth out of wedlock, you will encounter a lot of troubles in the future, such as promotion assessments and rumors. Children will also ask when they grow up. That's something that will happen in the future. It's just a temporary pleasure. No matter what you do, Qin Wan couldn't think too far ahead. In the worst case, I'll publicize that my boyfriend died of cancer. Zhang Junlin. It's really random. It seems that he really hates this man. If he hates him so much, why did he get angry for a moment? He really didn't understand Qin Wan's thoughts. Could it be that men and women are different and think differently? After Zhang Junlin and Qin Wan had a clear talk, they had lunch at Chen's house before leaving. In the evening, everyone in the Chen family knew that Qin Wan was pregnant before marriage. Chen Lianzhi's reaction was that he wanted to hit her, but Qin Wan could not. Regardless of his mood, isn't this a double standard? Your son was also pregnant out of wedlock. You love your grandson so much, why can't you do it to me? With Chen Liangdong in front to block the thunder, this matter will be easy. The Chen family will not publicize this matter. The Chen family doesn't know if it is because of bad feng shui. It feels like they all get pregnant before marriage. Except for Chen Lianzhi, everyone else, all in all, Chen Liangdong didn't dare to say anything after being lectured by his brother. After Qin Wan blocked wrongly, he felt that the world was clean. After dinner at Chen's house, Qin Wan received a call from Zhou Jinjin. Because of Gu Ci, the two of them had a good time and would meet in private. When Qin Wan arrived, Zhou Jinjin had already arrived, with a full face. He waved to her with a smile, come on, come on. What's the matter? Qin Wan sat down happily, and Zhou Jinjin said to the waiter, give her a cocktail. Just juice. You don't drink anymore. If you don't drink today, why do you want to ask me for anything? Go on a blind date with me, Zhou Jinjin blinked. Aren't you and Chenfei in an extreme relationship, so you fell in love so quickly? That's not true, Zhou Jinjin said angrily. Chenfei didn't agree to my promise. What happened to my blind date? This kid is really ignorant. That's right, Zhou Jinjin is a well-known star, bright and accomplished, the dream goddess of otakus. Oh, I can't push it. I was working on a new drama a while ago to speculate on the CP, and the Zhou family. I was very unhappy, so my dad blamed my mom. Although I hate iron, but it's my mom after all, so I couldn't help it. They assigned me a financial elite, and it was just a formality. It was too embarrassing for me to be alone. She doesn't want to find friends in the circle, they are all plastic flowers. Okay, what do you need me to do? Qinwan asked with a smile. You don't have to do anything special, it's just going through the motions. Zhou Jinjin blinked, just accidentally reveal that I'm chasing a man. Qinwan. She didn't know whether to laugh or cry. The waiter served a glass of juice. As soon as she took a sip, she saw two tall men coming in and walking towards their table accurately. Both of them were about 1.9 meters tall and dressed well. Business, as if he had just come out of some financial summit, with striding steps and extraordinary temperament. One of them was Rong Li, and Qinwan's face turned dark. Rong Li also saw Qinwan, they were really enemies. Next to him is Fang Mingheng, Black Hawk's vice president of Asia. The two of them have a late-night social gathering today, which happens to be in this club. Rong Li was distracted and drank, so he came over early to drink. Fang Mingheng and Zhou Jinjin originally had a blind date at the cafe next door. Seeing that Rong Li had nothing to do while drinking alone, he and Zhou Jinjin changed the venue to this club, and by the way, they Rong Li also pulled him over. He could easily get drunk if he drank alone. Besides, when Rong Li was drunk, he could easily get into trouble. He couldn't let Rong Li drink alone. They arranged their time very well. The social gathering was at 11 o'clock in the evening, and his blind date was arranged at 9 o'clock. They chatted for 2 hours and went directly to socializing. Rong Li had nothing to do, so he was pulled over by Fang Mingheng. Fang Mingheng was also arranged by his family. He had seen Zhou Jinjin's photo, and it was Minjian's appearance. He didn't like the appearance, but he couldn't push away the family's arrangement, so he insisted on it. But when he came over, he first noticed Zhou Jinjin's side. Qinwan was quite surprised. Qinwan and Zhou Jinjin are two different styles. A small white flower and a red rose. Fang Mingheng prefers the purity and pleasantness of Xiao Beihua. Moi. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 758. Chapter 758. We are not familiar with each other. After Fang Mingheng introduced himself to his family, he shook hands with Zhou Jinjin and Qinwan politely. Qinwan touched his palm, and it was instant. Zhou Jinjin didn't expect that the quality of his blind date was so high. Fang Mingheng is a descendant of a financial family in City A. He is only 32 years old. He went from Stanford University to get a doctorate in economics from his undergraduate degree. He hit it off with Rong Li when he was a student. After graduation, he was directly recruited by Rong Li to Black Hawk. After Lu Ziwen came to power, a group of senior executives were purged and young talents were directly promoted to the top. They were supposed to inherit the family business, but were poached by the Black Hawks. When they first walked in from the door, they looked like international male models. They had good looks and bodies. They looked like men who exercised regularly. They had a domineering temperament, natural and not greasy at all. Zhou Jinjin also has an admiring attitude. The Zhou family has a lot of contacts with the Fang family. Fang Mingheng naturally knows about the Zhou family's affairs. He doesn't mean to look down on celebrities in the entertainment industry. Zhou Jinjin has been protected by Gu Ci all the way through his debut, and everyone else has. She was squeezing her head to grab resources, and she just waited for the resources to be fed to her mouth. Her business ability and resistance to beatings naturally made her an instant hit. There were people behind her to protect her. She naturally emerged from the mud without getting stained, and she was also known as a big name in the entertainment industry. Miss, no one dares to mess with her. To be fair, Jo Jinjin is a relatively satisfactory daughter-in-law for wealthy wives, and Fang Mingheng is the second son with a high degree of education, great fame, and huge traffic. Jo Jinjin can get out of the circle by relying on Jo Jinjin's traffic. Although there are shortcomings in their family life, Jo Jiaming and Jo Jinjin have the same relationship, but Mrs. Jo recognizes Jo Jinjin as her only daughter. In the past few years, Mrs. Jo and Jo Jinjin's mother have become best friends. Jo Jiaming's two illegitimate sons are strong. The Fang family is very satisfied with Jo Jinjin and has expressed his feelings to Fang Mingheng. Fang Mingheng has been outstanding since he was a child and has his own way of doing things. How could he want to be checked and balanced in marriage? It was originally a perfunctory blind date, but he fell in love with Qin Wan. His emotional intelligence is high and he would never say that he has a crush on Qin Wan in front of Jo Jinjin. Men and women have different topics of conversation. Fang Mingheng and Rong Li rarely talk about information in the financial industry. Jo Jinjin is different. Entertainment, games, gossip, beauty, etc. are all female topics. Even though this is the case, Jo Jinjin has a lively temperament and is not silent. The more abrupt ones are Rong Li and Qin Wan. He didn't say a word during the whole process. One of them lowered his head to play with his mobile phone, while the other lowered his head to answer emails. They looked like green leaves, but there was an unusual atmosphere. Who would accompany someone on a blind date and play with their mobile phone all the time? Fang Mingheng thought to himself, this is a bit rude. But when he glanced at Rong Li next to him, he was a bit confused. Could it be that he was acting like a mute when he went on a blind date? Jo Jinjin also noticed and kicked Qin Wan. She felt that she belonged to Fang Mingheng. Fang Mingheng did not call, but Fang Mingheng's paper conditions were really good. Jo Jinjin held Qin Wan's arm with the mentality of not letting the wealth go to others. He said, this is my friend, her name is Qin Wan. We are from the same university. She is graduating from graduate school this year. The academic atmosphere of university is very strong. I was recommended for admission back then and almost became an alumnus of you. What major is Miss Qin studying? National Defense Industry, Qin Wan said calmly. Fang Mingheng was surprised. It was relatively rare for girls to study this major, and Qin Wan looked weak and couldn't take care of himself. It was a bit unexpected that he studied such a hardcore major. He quickly came to his senses. Wow, you are a national defense student, so cool. Of course, she is still the first in her major, and she graduated as a major. How cool. Fang Mingheng was even more shocked. Does a master's degree student usually have such a high military rank? Jo Jinjin didn't understand this, and naturally he didn't know that Qin Wan was different from ordinary graduates. She had a lot of credits. Qin Wan chuckled and said, good luck. Fang Mingheng said with a smile, I don't know much about this area. Where will Miss Qin's future employment be? It is not convenient to disclose. Understand, Fang Mingheng thought to himself, looking at the little white flower, it was quite individual. Rong Li kept his head down as he answered the email, fearing that he would quarrel with Qin Wan if he spoke, which would affect the match between Fang Mingheng and Jo Jinjin. But after listening for a while, he glanced at Fang Mingheng and put away his phone. For someone who has graduated from national defense and is an officer, there are several directions for employment. In the future, he will not be home all year round, and he will not have much freedom. He will be deployed wherever needed, all year round. Rong Li said with a cold face, it's very cool. Everybody. This statement is really full of gunpowder. It's none of your business, Qinwan snapped back angrily, "You're so idle, why don't you continue to be a mute? My optimism is none of your business." As expected, they started to quarrel whenever they spoke. Fang Mingheng asked, "Wrongly, do you know each other?" "Not familiar," Wrongly and Qinwan said in unison, and gave each other a dagger, saying that they were as irritable as they wanted. End of this chapter. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. Please subscribe to receive new novels. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 759. Chapter 759. The situation is tense. The atmosphere was very strange. Fang Mingheng and Zhou Jinjin looked at each other, and they both felt like they were fish in a fish pond. The two people were obviously enemies and disliked each other. In order to ease the embarrassment, Fang Mingheng took out his mobile phone and said with a chuckle, "Two beauties, let's add WeChat and make friends. I'm in a rush today. I'll treat you to dinner in a few days." Zhou Jinjin is a decent person and will not refuse. Both parties added WeChat messages. Qinwan originally did not intend to add the stranger's WeChat message, but she also took out her mobile phone and added Fang Mingheng. Wrongly clicked his tongue. He was still blocked by Qinwan. Qinwan didn't get used to his temper, so he blocked him. There was no work interaction anyway. "What does Miss Jean like to do?" Fang Mingheng asked casually. "Play basketball." "What a coincidence, I also like playing basketball. Let's make a date some other time." "Okay," Qinwan said happily. Zhou Jinjin deliberately drew a red line for them. "There are many classmates around us who like to play basketball. We used to get together to play basketball when we were in school." Qinwan was an extremely accurate shot. She was the main force in the women's basketball team in our school and competed for 4 years. Never lost. The most awesome thing is that Qinwan doesn't even train very much. He is on the basketball team and only comes when there are games. He often works alone and cannot be guarded by others. Then we have to have a good competition. Wrongly also likes basketball. Let's get together then. That's not necessary. Qinwan's face changed faster than he could turn the page of a book. "Everybody." Wrongly sneered, "Who would want to fight with you?" "Yes, we hate each other. Just be straightforward and it will save everyone trouble," Qinwan said with a smile. Fang Mingheng asked anxiously, "Do you have any holidays?" "Not familiar," Wrongly and Qinwan said in unison again. Zhou Jinjin is also confused. Qinwan doesn't have a good temper, especially when playing basketball and there are occasional physical confrontations. She looks like a pretty girl, but she is actually an irritable old girl. Anyone who dares to commit a foul and attack her will be knocked over by her. She doesn't show any affection, don't mess with her. Qinwan is easy to get along with. Zhou Jinjin asked gossipingly, "Did you fall in love and break up and become a couple?" "It's funny. Whoever wants to fall in love with him is crazy." Qinwan directly poked at Wrongly's sore spot. A man in his 30s who has never been in love is either a closeted person or a sick man. "Who is crazy to talk to him? Aren't you having a happy life when you're in love? I'd rather lack than have sex. Who can fall in love as casually as you do?" "Ha, it's so funny. Ji Xian arranged so many women for you, but none of them fell in love with you. The beauties are all elites in various industries, and none of them fell in love with you. I feel that you need to reflect on it. You'd rather be lacking than being scorned by others. If you are a mosquito-blooded person and you can talk so nicely, I will obey you." Qinwan is very eloquent, and Fang Mingheng, who came with him, must be a friend, not a stranger, so just poking at his sore spot is not considered to be spreading the word. "How are you better than me? Being brothers with men? How can there be any pure boyfriend and girlfriend in this world? They should be friends first, then brothers, and finally become lovers." What a good idea, Wrongly gave a thumbs up. I'm convinced too. Don't spit blood, Chinwan slammed the table angrily, thinking about how many years in prison he would be sentenced to for impulsive murder. She really wanted to kill him. Who started the personal attack first? Who doesn't know about your nonsense? Ji Xian has already broadcast it? What did I say wrong? What did I say wrong? Qinwan and Wrongly glared at each other, neither of them giving in. However, the irritable Wrongly remembered Qinwan's pregnancy and didn't want to argue with her anymore. Drink some water, don't blame me for being so angry. Go away, you curse me, I really have nothing to do with you at all. Qinwan wanted to cut ties with him, but she actually drank half a glass of juice. Fang Mingheng and Zhou Jinjin were dumbfounded. The lack of background information in the play made it a bit uncomfortable. They couldn't even understand the play, so they knew they had a grudge. Zhou Jinjin really suspected that they had some unclear relationship. Too much like a grudge after a breakup. It was a very unpleasant breakup, and I wished my ex had died in the address book. Fang Mingheng smiled and asked, does Miss Qin know Ji Sun? Wrongly had long seen that Fang Mingheng was attracted to Qinwan, and said coldly, she is an extremely evil person, what do you think? Oh. Fang Mingheng understood. They were sworn enemies. No wonder she and Wrongly didn't deal with each other. Although they were not rivals in recent years and were a bit like in-laws, their interests conflicted. Fang Mingheng's small thoughts were half suppressed by reality. I'm going to the bathroom. Qinwan was so angry that she felt a little uncomfortable and drank too much water. She got up and went to the bathroom. Zhou Jinjin accompanied her. As soon as the two left, Fang Mingheng said, you have failed on blind dates so many times. I believe it's you, not other girls. Roll. Fang Mingheng said, even if she is a gangster, you have had grudges. Now that Ji Sun and Mr. Zhang are in a stable relationship, and their relationship has eased, why can't you get along with a little beauty? Wrongly was silent. Just then the waiter came over and asked someone to serve him a glass of whiskey. Fang Mingheng didn't stop him, do you really have sworn hatred between you and her? No, he and Qinwan really didn't have any sworn hatred. They had a private date for dinner some time ago, and they were no longer so tense. Ever since the pregnancy notice was given to him, the conflict between the two has become more intense than when they first met. She became more intense, you are very interested in Qinwan and have a crush on her. Her appearance is quite in line with my taste. How many girlfriends do you plan to have her as your girlfriend? Wrongly asked politely. End of this chapter. Shocking. She came back with a smaller version of the boss. Author, and knows. Chapter 760. Chapter 760, Grumpy Brother. Fang Mingheng scratched his head in embarrassment, he's quite hot-tempered. I don't know if I can pursue him. Wrongly sneered. Fang Mingheng and Qinwan had known each other for the first time. He couldn't tell her about Qinwan's pregnancy. People in the world had strong prejudice against women. He had just argued with Qinwan and said that she had so many friends of the opposite sex. They got along well with each other, but she was inexplicably angry because of her pregnancy, but if he had some control over her, he wouldn't talk about anything. Fang Mingheng has a good family background and good looks. He is a typical tall, rich and handsome man. He is always a frequent visitor to nightclubs when he was studying in the United States. Wrongly complained that nightclubs are like a new house and a groom every night. He is very philandering. He frequently dated women when he was studying. My friend, I basically change my girlfriend once a week, and my favorite type is also very single. I prefer the good-looking, pure, and cute little white flower type. Ji Sun is still complaining behind his back whether he has the Baiyu Egwang that he can only ask for. Baiyu Egwang is this type. Although I have many girlfriends, I still have some principles. I rarely try to be in two different situations. I am generous with my money and give a generous breakup fee. Basically, I will break up with the current one after I see the next one. Almost all breakups are peaceful. After so many years, he has never fallen out of love. The girlfriends he has dated include models, celebrities, socialites, etc. After the breakup, there has not been a single bad review. Ji-sun concluded that he is handsome and has a good figure, so his predecessors probably feel that they have made a profit. After all, Fang Minghung looks like this and earns at least 100,000 yuan a night, so he has made a profit, so why should he make a fuss? Rong Li knew that he had a girlfriend now. He had been dating her for a month, and he was probably tired of her. "Excuse me," Rong Li said bluntly, "she is Zhang Junlin's sister." "I'll go, it's so exciting, Mr. Zhang has to take care of falling in love and not getting married. You and I are willing to do this. We are all adults." Rong Li sneered and remained silent. Fang Mingheng's interest dropped from 10 to 8, and now it has dropped directly to 3. "It's a pity, I like this look so much. Which of your girlfriends do you dislike for her looks? Can the relationship last 3 months, Rong Li said, her temper, do you think she can be kind? Indeed, Fang Minjian said out loud, the person who even dares to confront you has a bad temper. Qin Wan rubbed his lower abdomen, which was still an embryo. Imitate me, don't imitate him. If you imitate me badly, I'll beat you up. Zhou Jinjin knocked on the door. Zioan, are you okay? It's okay, Qin Wan came out and washed her hands. Don't worry, that Fang Minghung is not suitable for you. He is a famous playboy. I'm not interested in him either. I originally wanted to hook you up. Is he a playboy? My girlfriend can play on 2 football teams. You big carrot, forget it, I'll take care of it. If you and Rong Li don't want to deal with each other, then you won't stay here anymore. Just find an excuse to escape. I'll take you to relax. Okay, Qin Wan gritting his teeth, just say I'm not feeling well. You're such a lively person, okay. The two of them came out together. Zhou Jinjin said, Xiao Wan is a little uncomfortable and it's a bit late today. Let's get together another day. Rong Li frowned, put down his wine glass, and looked at Qin Wan coldly. Wouldn't she be so angry that her body would be broken? Pregnant women are said to be quite fragile. Okay, see you another day. Do you want us to send you off? Fang Minghung said. I drove out, just walk by myself. The two of them walked away together, and Rong Li drank the wine in silence. Fang Minghung said, I'm going to drink some more. It's easy for you to get into trouble if you drink. What should I do if I stop drinking? I still feel like I want to chase him. Rong Li. Lately, he has Mercury retrograde, and nothing goes smoothly. Do you think there is hope? It's none of my business, Rong Li said harshly. He even tried to persuade him to back down, but Fang Minghung still didn't give up. Surface, are you abandoning yourself by your first girlfriend, so are you giving up on yourself? Fang Minghung, you are particularly anxious tonight. Don't make me angry. I didn't provoke you. When will they arrive? Rong Li glanced at the time and said, tell them to come early. I'll ask the secretary to inform you. End of this chapter.